Okay, good morning again, everybody. Welcome. This is Mark Hollenstein and the Masters of Light, the Elders of the Universe, my guides, and today is Saturday, April 5th, 2025. Thank you so much for being here. If it's your first time, welcome. If it's your first time listening to the replay, welcome. I'm just going to quickly share with you how these calls work. They're an hour long. They're usually broken up into 15-minute segments. The first 15 minutes, hold on one second, I'm still hearing tones. Let me see if I can fix that. Sorry about that. So again, these are 60-minute calls. I usually break them up into four 15-minute segments. The first 15 minutes, I bring forth the message. The second segment, I kind of flesh out what we've been, what's been transmitted, and just kind of give my insight based on my relationship with the elders and the Masters of Light. And then I take us through some kind of guided visualization. Excuse me. At the end of that visualization, which is designed to help us all ground and embody the transmission and the information, I invite you to sit in your stillness a little bit longer, absence of my voice and absence of the collective energy that we're contributing to the circle. However, I say hang up, and it's important that we all hang up because the recording does not stop until the last person hangs up, and sometimes somebody's in their stillness, they sit in their stillness for a while and they forget to hang up, and the recording can look like an hour longer, and then people get the recording, they're like, I'm not listening to a 2-hour message. So it's important that we all hang up together. With that being said, I'm going to invite you to take a huge breath into your chest cavity, and as you exhale, I want to invite you just to let your body relax a little bit more into this moment. And then I want to invite you, in whatever way makes sense to you, to just check in with yourself for a second before I share the information. I like to do a check-in giving you the option to feel 2 words. What are 2 words that would describe what you're experiencing in this moment? Just see if you can identify that. Doesn't matter what they are. Just check in with yourself. My 2 words at the moment are amped up and incredibly calm. But that amped uppedness that I am experiencing is feeling incredibly distracting. I'm sharing that with you because I'm going to start the message with I want to point you towards something. Today's energy is a very unique flow of energy, unlike we have experienced before on an energetic level. Today is a very distinctive shifting day in the collective consciousness of humanity, and most people are not even aware that anything outside of what's being played out on the world stage is happening behind the scenes. What's happening on the world stage today is also incredibly unique. What's going to play out on the world stage in our physical reality is a reflection of what is actually happening behind the scenes on an energetic level. And again, most people have no idea that that is happening. I'm sharing that with you right now because the place that we are in energetically is creating an experience within all of us that is very foreign to the human experience, and it may be at play in the next 50 minutes while you're listening to my voice. And what this space, what this shift and experience is On a soul level, when we are functioning in non-physical realities, which is our soul is non-physical, having a human experience in the form of you. When we are in non-physical realities, we exist often in a space that is, in our human experience, empty. In non-physical realities, we function in the void. The void is a space of source energy that functions in its eternal stillness in what we would call nothingness in our human experience. Stay with me. That void is very familiar, and it is filled with infinite intelligence that can only be perceived in our non-physical state. We are slowly integrating that ability to be in the void, in the infinite intelligence of our non-physical soul. We are slowly incorporating that into the human experience. While you're listening to my voice, you may feel incredibly agitated. And you may feel like, I don't want anybody to tell me nothing. You also might feel these incredible waves of peace. And you might feel a surge of hopelessness and a sense of, at the same time, a sense of calm and knowing, even though your mind doesn't know why you have this knowing. It is a roller coaster ride that can feel completely crazy making. I'm sharing that with you because you're not going crazy. You are on track for an intense integration of your soul's energy, the frequency of your higher self, taking up more space in your physical body. And that space of your higher frequency, filling the space of your physical being, feels very foreign because it can feel disconcerting, because when you feel this space, you can feel absent of things that you're used to clinging to, like hope, like clarity, like understanding, like direction. And in the days leading up to this day, which is creating this space, you may have been already in that roller coaster ride. In that roller coaster ride, leading up to this call, leading up to this day of space, taking residence in our physical body, you may have already had really profound senses of clarity and experiences of yourself as source, or your I am presence that we've been building for the last 30 days, that dropped in and you're like, oh shit, I get it. I'm getting this. And I know that is true because I received at least I wrote down 5, and then I stopped recording the names of 5 of you sent me text messages saying this happened. I'm sharing that with you because in this space today, that wonderful experience of your I am presence being embodied in your physical awareness could seem very far away today, which could allow your ego mind, your wounded third dimensional persona, to say, oh, I lost it, as if we have to cling to these experiences and make them last, which is how the ego functions. It believes ascension is a linear process, like climbing a mountain, and then all of a sudden you get to this plateau and you kind of have a peak experience, and you feel responsible to keep yourself at that peak experience forever, or somehow you've retreated backwards and you're not making progress at all. That very well could be at play today, and I want to encourage you. You are crushing it, regardless of what roller coaster ride you ride today, and regardless of what experience you have while you're listening to my voice, because I want to acknowledge you. I feel you, and I am empathetic to whatever you may be experiencing right now, even while you're on this call. I will tell you that I am using every ounce of my ability of presence to deliver this transmission in a way that I have never struggled with before. And I'm aware that is because of where we are today. That being said, I want to read a section of the message we received on March 1st, a month ago, and connect the dots for what's happening today. And it's ironic, what's happening today on the first Saturday of the month that I'm delivering this message, this current transmission, it is not random. In March, one little section, I highlighted it for you, and I made it bigger text because I wanted it to grab your attention when you read March's message. It said, please note, as the light increases in you and on the planet, because remember last month we were told that the Earth's grids were lighting up, like I used the example of fishnet stockings, like there was a grid of light coming online in the planet. All the light meridians were lighting up, and that lighting up of the Earth was activating your ability to receive more light into your being, which set us up for our I am practice. From that message, we received this from the elders. Please note, as the light increases, the illusions of the third dimensional world will clamor more loudly for your attention. Do you remember that? Today, we are a tipping point where the light is so bright in this space that is being created within you that the illusions of the third dimensional world are going to clamor even stronger, more loudly for your attention. And the message following that last month was, it is crucial to be especially mindful of where you focus your consciousness in this window. What window? The 90-day window from March 1st through May 31st. We are in our second month of that 90-day window, where just before we were told, as the light increases, the illusions of the third dimensional world will clamor loudly for your attention. We were told, wherever you put your focus in this 90-day window, you are going to experience accelerated and amplified positive outcomes. So, prior to today, you received 2 written messages, one from the elders, one from the Masters of Light. I told you I was not going to read those messages. I just wanted you to have them. You have them. If you have not read them, I would encourage you to read them. What I'm going to do for today's message is I pulled little segments, and I'm going to flush it out for you as it relates to what's happening today. Before I do that, I want to ride the momentum that we have been creating of building our I am presence. And the reason I want to do that is I'm going to read one line and connect the dot to the momentum we've been building for your I am presence. In the messages prepping for today, we were told from the elder or from the Masters of Light, the current solar activity you are experiencing in this 90-day window is supporting your ability, pay attention, supporting your ability to remember what your soul knows. Your soul knows that as a drop, you are indeed the entire infinite ocean of creation. Your soul knows that when you put your focus in human form on your I am presence through the form of imagination, you are expanding your capacity to function fully in your I am presence in human form. And we're just in the beginning stages of that evidence to show up in your life. Your soul knows itself as source. Your soul knows that every time you sit still and use the visualization I'm just about to take you through again, which we used every day in March, your soul knows every time you use this simple visualization, you are opening the door to a huge possibility of your human ability to perceive yourself as source in a way that is very unique to you. So, I want you to take a breath in, and as you exhale, immediately close your eyes to harness your energy. With your eyes closed, imagine in the center of your chest cavity a ball the size of a golf ball of gold light. That gold light represents your I am presence. That represents your soul's ability to know itself as the entire ocean of the one consciousness, not just the drop. As you focus on that gold light, I want you to see it explode like a bright light penetrating out of your chest cavity, moving out of your physical body, and filling your auric field, that ball of light that is holding your physical body. That is your drop. Your auric field is your drop in the infinite ocean of consciousness. And in the middle of your drop is your body having its physical experience. Your drop extends as far as your fingertips would reach if you held your arms out to the side as if you were flying. That's as far as your gold energy extends. What's on the other side right at your fingertips. What's there? It's more gold light. It's the infinite ocean of one source creator. Your drop is not independent. It is floating in a huge ocean of one energy. I wanted you to activate your drop. So from your I am presence, that's building momentum of a personal experience of your understanding of it as it relates to you, is fully activated as you listen to the remainder of this transmission and my words and the information. You can open your eyes if you want to. Here's why I wanted it to be activated. The next piece from the message that I'm pulling out is you are the gateway to the higher dimensions. You are the gateway to the higher dimensions. While a solar flash may occur, it is essential to recognize that your ascension is purely an inner journey. It always has been, and it always will be. Nothing external, no external phenomenon can replace the essential work of elevating your consciousness. What have we been told consciousness is? Your awareness that your drop is indeed the entire ocean of consciousness. Why is that important? Because the message today that I really want you to walk away with, if you walk away with nothing else, the elders and your inner guidance, your guides are saying to you, as my guides are saying to me, today, what's happening behind the scenes is an awareness that every drop, that is you and me, that is becoming aware of its I am presence, however strong that is today does not matter. It's not going to stop expanding in your experience or your awareness. So even if you're feeling like I'm not quite sure I know what that is yet, you're still, what I'm about to say applies to you, okay? The energies of today are bringing a swell of all the drops that are becoming aware that it is the one singular ocean, and all those drops in the ocean are swelling into one wave that looks like a tsunami. You, your energy, your soul mode is swelling in its awareness that it is indeed the entire ocean, and it is swelling into an energetic tsunami of force of change that is causing what we're witnessing on the world stage. It's not the other way around. What's happening on the world stage is not activating our ascension. We are dismantling what has been created to hold us in illusion. You, today, are beginning. Imagine you're standing on the shore of the ocean and you're watching the waves, and all of a sudden you look beyond the couple of waves that are just lapping on the shore kind of peacefully, and you see this massive wave swelling. You are a drop in that. You're not separate, and that wave is continuing to grow, and it's a wave of power and love and peace that passes all understanding. And the space that's coming online today is where that tsunami is growing, and that space is inside of you. And it feels very different than all the imprints of our wounds. Space can make you feel empty and like you got nothing to hold on to, and that's exactly what needs to be happening. Because in that space, we are transmuting the remainder energy of wounded imprints that prevent us from allowing ourselves to fully know ourselves in our I am presence. It's an act of grace that's happening today. So I'm going to continue with the little segments I pulled out. So indeed, it is your shift in consciousness that I just described that calls in the collaboration of this continued solar activity that's surging this energetic expansion within you. The more we focus on our I am presence, the more activity of the sun increases to amplify the light in the earth grid that amplifies the activation of your dormant DNA coming online for you to remember yourself as source. The current solar activity you are experiencing is supporting your ability to remember what your soul knows. Stay with me. The energies from the solar activity within this 90-day window are dramatically supporting your capacity to embody the eternal knowledge that resides within you. What I'm reading are pieces from the 2 messages I sent you in advance. The elders are saying, we have shared, or the masters of light are saying, we have shared with you many times. From our perspective, raising your consciousness is about increasing your awareness and embodied experience of yourself as source. Stay with me. The I am presence practice, focusing on the transformative tool of imagination, reinforces this message we've been delivering through our conduit, me, since 2017. I'm gonna pause here and connect the dots. Way back in 2017, the Masters of Light said, your imagination is a backdoor way to let your imprinted mind from your human experience that is limited in its ability to interpret things from a soul perspective. The practice of imagining things allows your mind to get on board to allow you to go into non-physical realities that are as real as the physical world, interact with non-physical information through imagination, and then bring that experience back into your human life and watch it transform your physical experience. When we first started, myself included, I kept saying, imagination feels like you're making it up. Let yourself make it up so you can practice this backdoor tool to let the mind get on board with what your soul knows. Your soul knows that in physical form, it's difficult to interact with non-physical realities, so we got to train your brain how to do that until the energies get so strong it starts to make sense at a deeper level. Here we are, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 8 years in, and the energies are high enough for you to start interacting with non-physical realities where you stop doubting the power of imagination, which is why we use that imagination and visualizing that gold ball of light for the last month, because the energies are high enough now that you can trust using your visualization imagination to activate so much power in non-physical realities to start dramatically changing what's happening in the physical world. This tsunami that is swelling from all the awakening souls, which is you, is inviting us to step into utilizing these visualizations in a super powerful way. And that's why we were practicing and that's why I felt so compelled to work with you for 30 days I didn't know why, but I just felt like I can't let them miss this. What I'm feeling in my body, I can't let us miss this. Let's all just do this I am practice that we were given to build the momentum that we were told on March 1st was being compounded daily. Every meditation that we did together, every meditation that you did separately, every thought you had about your I am presence in the last month amplified and was compounded 100-fold beyond just what your wounded third dimensional persona thought or believed could possibly be happening. And so where we sit today with the power of our imagination is frickin' off the charts. I'm going to continue reading pieces. The I am presence practice, focusing on the transformative tool of imagination, reinforces this message we've been delivering through our conduit since 2017. Your imagination, this is the message, is a portal into non-physical realities. Remember I've said this? You cannot think your way into these realms. Rather, you must provide your mind access through the act of imagining. We wish to guide you through an understanding of how this transformation unfolds from the personal level toward the global stage. The breakdown of the control matrix, the dismantling, is not occurring through external conflict, but through internal shifts in consciousness, but through you doing your I am presence practice, swelling into a tsunami to change the outcomes of what's unfolding on the world stage. As each of you aligns with your soul and your higher self through your I am practice, you reclaim your energetic sovereignty, your independent power to create in non-physical ways to affect physical reality and influence the reality around you in a profound way. This transmission will explore how your personal awakening contributes to collective timelines, to what unfolds on the world stage. The fluid nature of this ascension process and the beautiful planetary transformation you are creating. Timeline fluidity means that the future is not set in stone. Numerous potential timelines and version of reality coexist, and you will align with the one that matches your frequency. I'm going to pause here. What does that mean? It means we're all on the same stage. We're all watching the same props. We're all watching the same characters on the stage perform their parts. We're all watching the stock market crash. We're all watching the threat of war escalate. We're all watching every piece that's unfolding on the world stage. But based on our alignment with certain frequencies, your I am presence will dictate how that illusion of a story actually affects you individually. That's all I'm going to say on that, because there's so much more. That will become a reality that you will understand from the inside out. This, I'm continuing to read. This is why vibrational alignment is so important. When you maintain a high vibration of love, clarity, and peace, natural timeline solutions unfold smoothly. Remember, I've been saying the dismantle doesn't have to equate to intense suffering. It will include challenges, but natural timeline solutions can unfold smoothly based on your vibration, based on us awakening souls dictating what we will manifest regardless what the characters on the stage are trying to, what story they're trying to tell. Today is a turning point in that. And the collapse of old systems can happen with grace. This is new information, you all. We've all been feeling the intensity of the dismantle through the lens of fear until we got to this place on the other side of our I am practice, compounded, bringing us to a deeper level of peace. So in contrast, if you fall into fear or anger, you might experience less favorable versions of the events in your personal life. You are constantly shifting timelines individually, moment by moment, based on how you choose to be in each moment. You are not a victim of external events. You can self-regulate your reactions and choose a conscious response, a soul mode response. You have been empowered for quicker ability to choose soul mode response. There's a difference between reacting and responding, right? We all know that long before we even heard the word ascension, but a reaction in the past has often been programmed. We've been programmed for panic and outrage. We've been programmed for that to respond to the story that we're being told is unfolding with a programmed response to keep that probability of that timeline happening. We're cutting that off. The entire human population has been conditioned for fear, hate, and separation. And that illusion that was our only choice has been in the process of being dismantled, and it's been being prepared for obvious dismantle of that for as long as you've been working with me, and we're at a tipping point. A response, however, comes from our soul's wisdom. Your new ability to respond differently is coming from your I am presence that is swelling into a tsunami, merging with other humans in the ocean of consciousness. So when you respond from this centered place of your I am presence, you remain in your power. You remain in the power of the entire ocean of one consciousness. You're no longer controlled by the drama unfolding around you. And in this way, you reclaim your freedom from the programmed matrix at a personal level. We've been talking about from the messages of March about our sovereign energy, our independent emotional and energetic mastery separate from the narrative that's been bombarding us to keep us in the program of the fear, hate, and separation. Being in your sovereign energy means consciously choosing where you're going to focus your attention and allowing your field of energetic sovereignty to thrive. A key aspect of sovereignty is releasing any remaining programs you may carry. This space that's being created in you today is an act of grace helping to dissolve the program. Your mind can't understand that, but it is happening. So, I'm going to finish reading, and then I'm going to, the segments I pulled from the two messages, and then I'm going to flesh it out a bit more for you. Take a breath with me. All of us have been taught to look outside of ourselves for salvation, for stability, for provision. We've all bought into a programmed reality that we are dependent on governments and systems that we all surrendered our energy to and bought in to support unconsciously, that we are dependent on systems to save us, to provide for us, whether it's the government, the religious figures, or even off-planet beings to rescue us from the problems of earth. We've all been waiting for some Messiah on some level, whether it's a government or a religious Buddha, Muhammad, or Jesus. In some form, we've all been waiting, and that has been by design. There's no one coming. There's us emerging into this tsunami of reclaiming our sovereign energy to change the narrative we've been programmed into. That's the dismantle, and we are causing it from the inside out. So as 2025 continues to unfold, the plot twists and the chaos of transformation occurring on the world stage will activate a deeper remembrance of yourself as source and your ability to reclaim your sovereign creative power in human form. Breathe again. This is so important, beautiful souls. It is so important today. In the United States today, we have protests showing up all over in every state through a surge of human rallying, citizens rallying for what they're calling the hands-off movement. 1 million people are going to show up in Washington. There's nothing right or wrong about this, okay? It's a part of, we've been in this cycle before, where governments say, this is what we're doing, and the people rise and say, we don't want this. Very seldom in the history of any kind of protest, outside of it getting some news coverage and a couple of things changing here and there, this us versus them has never changed everything into a space where there was equanimity and equality and the oppression of the masses. Never has that worked. These people that are rallying today are rallying in this space that is being created in all drops, whether they're awakened to the fact that they're a drop in the one infinite ocean of consciousness or not. That's just one thing that's happening today. Other things that are happening today is big movement in escalated war. I don't know if you saw, but Russia used the technology that is a big, against Ukraine, that is a big statement of, here's the possibility of war technology that we have, so don't fuck with us, or we will use this and we will become dominant in World War III. That's just another piece. The stock markets are crashing. That's just another piece. Just those three elements converging on this day where behind the scenes this big space is creating is not random. Remember, I've been saying to you for quite a while, since January, April will be the month that the evidence of the dismantle will begin to present itself in very tangible ways. In March, the elder said, please note, as the light increases, as you expand into your I am presence, along with millions of other awakening souls that the media is not talking about, the illusion of the third dimensional world will clamor more loudly for your attention. In the month of April, everything that unfolds on the world stage is going to clamor like a vacuum, pulling you into a bonfire of fever pitch insanity. It will be calling you sucking you in to feed the flame with your fear and your doubt that you truly are expanding into your I am presence. This is a pivotal moment where we must rise to the occasion, because we are in a space where the volume or the bandwidth of the higher frequencies is just about to take another quantum leap, but we must stand in the space between these frequencies to strengthen our knowing that the current solar activities that you are experiencing is supporting your ability to remember what your soul knows. Your soul knows it would have to stand in this space right now. I'm going to say that again. Your soul knows that it has to stand in this space right now. It knew before you agreed to take this incarnation, we would be here. I was saying to a couple of friends yesterday, I cannot tell you since 2017 when I started to channel the Masters of Light, and then, but particularly in this year, how many times, excuse me, pardon me, how many times, precious soul, working with you this year, I just wanted to stop. I don't want to bring any more messages. I don't want to do any more work. I'm tired. I don't want to. I'm tired of feeling crazy. Even though I've got 8 years of bringing these messages through, sometimes I feel crazy. Like this is all crazy. And then as soon as I feel that, I get this surge feeling of expansion of my I am presence in me that feels different than it did just 30 seconds ago. And that space that we are in right now is what is getting ready to happen for all of us. I hate to say it's a test, like somehow we're being required to pass a test, but it's almost like a test, but you're doing it to yourself. Nothing outside of us is doing this to us. It's us in human form. There's a test between the human that crossed through the veil, that agreed, I will cross through the veil and forget that I am source, knowing there will be a moment where I will start to remember, and it will make me feel crazy as a human who forgot, and a human who was imprinted with so many wounds that I crafted this way of being just to survive the insanity of choosing to take incarnation and forget that I was source. And there would be a moment where I would have to hold steady for the merge of my I am presence to have the capacity to fully take residence in my physical body. And we're in that space starting today. I suspect we're going to be in this space in part of, for most of this 90-day window. We got 2 more months. But everything that is happening in this 90 days is building compounded momentum. So my message to you today, beautiful soul, is hold steady. You're not going crazy. You are fully having these empowered experiences that you keep catching glimpses of, and we are rising into a tsunami that's going to use our power of imagination that we're finally really starting to get, and we're going to change outcomes because timelines are fluid. We've been taught to believe that the narrative that we are being bombarded with is we're going to suffer according to the outcomes that look probable. And that's exactly what those that are manipulating the circumstance want, where they want to keep us. But we're not staying there. We're not staying there. So our visualization for today that I'm about ready to take you on, I want you to do me a personal favor. And in doing me a favor, I want you to do yourself a favor. I want you for the next 10 minutes to believe that your power of imagining whatever I'm going to direct you to imagine right now is a freaking magic wand that your soul knows how to wield regardless of how ridiculous it sounds, regardless of how improbable it sounds, regardless of how much your wounded third dimensional mind that is also in this space that I'm pointing to says that is such bullshit. Regardless, I want you to rise with me like a drop in a tsunami, rising with this imagination and trust with every fiber of your being from your soul's knowing, because the current solar activity you're experiencing is supporting your ability to remember what your soul knows. Let's align with that right now. Yep, it feels crazy, but I'm going to use this visualization to support my mind's ability to get on board to remember what my soul knows. Because that's the next level of clarity. Our mind is going to get on board with trusting what our soul knows. We are reclaiming our wounded, programmed mind. Are you with me? Hang with me. We're just going to go 3 minutes in this visualization. So I want you to close your eyes. I want you to breathe slow and deep into your chest cavity. You're going to do it 3 times. It'll wait for my full instructions. You're going to breathe in like this until your chest is full. And then as you exhale, you're going to simply say, I am. And you're going to do that 3 times. And every time you say, I am, you're going to imagine your little drop expanding into the entire ocean of consciousness. Let it be a picture of a drop in the ocean expanding and becoming the entire ocean. Do that now. Take 3 breaths, fill your lungs, state I am, and every time you say I am, see that gold light swelling into the ocean. Now just stay with me, listen to my voice, and imagine the best you can. Allow these pictures to formulate in your mind. I want you right now, no matter what country you're in, I want you to imagine 1 million people standing in the Great Mall in Washington, D.C. However you can see that in your mind's eye, doesn't matter, doesn't have to be perfect. See 1 million people showing up in the mall. And from that imagination, I want you to let those people imagine almost 9 billion humans on the planet represented there. Those people in the United States represent what the masses feel and want. We all want the madness to stop. I want you to imagine you have the ability to affect that 1 million people through what I'm going to guide you through right now. You hold the power to affect the experience of those 1 million people showing up for whatever's motivating them individually. It doesn't matter. It's one desire. Stop the madness. We refuse to support the fever pitch insanity of the narrative we are being programmed into at the highest level since humanity has been on the planet. That's the message that's being sent. Now we're going to affect those people in America, knowing that it's going to have a ripple effect into the entire planet. Here's the visualization I want you to see. First, I want you to put your hand on your heart, both hands. And I want you to say again, this time you're saying it as if every one of them in the million people on the mall are saying it. You're saying it because you're the ocean, and therefore you are every drop. Out loud together, we're all going to say 3 times, I am, I am, I am. We are the entire ocean. See that crowd of people being rained on by gold raindrops. I want you to see clouds come over the mall. They're not water clouds. They're light clouds. They're clouds of energetic gold light. And it just starts to trickle. And somebody in the crowd goes, did you see that? That a gold drop just fell on another one. And watch the crowd start to realize they're being drizzled on by gold drops of light. And all of a sudden, that trickle becomes a gentle stream. And that stream of gold drops just becomes a deluge of light. And that deluge of light is washing over that entire crowd, and that entire crowd is being activated in a sense of peace and calm and protection that protects them from the antagonizers who are planted in that crowd to create violent responses. But this rain is washing away that timeline. And this rain of light is activating the dormant DNA in every one of those people that represents you and me, who weren't called there but want the same thing that they want. And it represents every other person that wanted to go but didn't because they were afraid, but they wanted to do something, but now they're judging themselves because they feel guilty, like they're not doing enough, but their fear prevented them. I want you to see that crowd representing every human in America being rained on by this gold light, wherever they are right now. And by the way, can you feel it? It's falling on your head in your space right now. And now imagine that little vision just allowed the rain to fall on every human on the planet, everywhere. We're in a space today where the tsunami of every drop is rising into a wave of conscious creation through intention, through the backdoor way of using our imagination to interact in non-physical realities to change the outcome in physical realities. And as we finish, I want you to make this declaration with me. Make it true for you. I am a sovereign drop in the infinite ocean of creation. Say that out loud. And I do not consent to the timeline of destruction and separation any longer. I do not surrender my power there. I take responsibility to expand my I am presence to support the dismantle. And I make the declaration now from my I am presence that I will stand in this space and make conscious choices to not align with fear. I will continue in this space to open to the energy of my higher self, which is absent of fear. It only knows itself as source, and it is absent of any human limitation. The current solar activity I am experiencing is supporting my ability to remember what my soul knows. I choose to remember. Everybody breathe deep into your chest cavity. And as you exhale, notice your gold light that's holding your body in a hot tub of liquid love. Look how bright gold that is. That's where I'm going to leave you today, beautiful soul. And I'm going to encourage all of us to hang up together and then just give yourself 2 minutes to sit in your stillness all by yourself in your I am presence. Just give yourself 2 minutes alone to let it expand. I love you. Rock your weekend. Hang up and let your I am expand all on your own. Bye for now.